Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Have you ever read David Copperfield?
How's that?
It's a wonderful book. It's this poor little fella and his father has passed away. And his mother marries this miserable man named Murdstone. Isn't that a villainous name? Murdstone. Anyway, this Murdstone character has a sister named...
Mr. Bemis, you shortchanged me again. You owe me $1. See, there's 24 here and there should be 25.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Murdstone. Mrs. Chester, I thought there were 5 ones there, but I've only given you 4. I thought there were 5. And then there's this other character named Macabre, Mr. Macabre, and he's always going to debtor's prison. And there's another character named Peggotty, and that's David's...
For Lord's sake.
Nurse.
Bemos?
Yes, sir?
Would you come into my office, Mr. Bemos?
Yes, certainly, Mr. Carsville. I don't suppose you've ever read David Copperfield?
No, Mr. Bemis, I have not. Now, if you'll kindly accompany me.
Witness Mr. Henry Bemis, chartered member in the Fraternity of Dreamers. A bookish little man with a passion for the printed page, but conspired against by a bank president and a wife and a world full of tongue cluckers and the unrelenting hands of a clock. But in just a moment, Henry Bemis will enter a world without bank presidents, or wives, or clocks. He'll have a world all to himself, without anyone.
Now, Mr. Bemis, I shall arrive at the point. I shall come via the following route. Namely, what constitutes an effective organization? Viz. A bank teller who knows his job and performs it, a.k.a. an organization man who fits within an organization. You, Mr. Bemis, are neither an efficient bank teller nor a proficient employee. You, Mr. Bemis, are a reader.
A leader?
A reader, Mr. Bemis, a reader of books, magazines, periodicals, newspapers. Oh, I see you in your lunch hour, going down to the basement to the bank vault to read. Ultimatum, Mr. Bemis! Either you stop reading and focus on your job, or you'll find yourself sitting on a park bench, reading from morning till night for want of bag-a-jaw. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Perfectly clear, sir. It's just that...
Just that what? Make it quick and get back to your cage.
It's just that my wife won't let me read at home. You see, when I get home at night and pick up a newspaper, she yanks it out of my hands. And after dinner, if I want to try to find a magazine, she hides them. Well, I got so desperate that I found myself trying to read the labels on the condiment bottles on the table. She won't even let me use that ketchup.
Honest, I give my opinion. Your wife is an amazingly brilliant woman. Why, I remember last November when you wouldn't stop reading the campaign buttons on customer lapels. I recall one woman who was so upset that you were reading down there that she tried to hit you with her umbrella.
Yes, I remember that. I never got a chance to tell her. I was only looking to see who she voted for.
Good day, Mr. Bemis.
No, thank you, dear.
Well, then why don't you tell me that instead of sneaking off into the living room to bury
yourself in newsprint. I believe we have been over this quite enough, Henry. I will not tolerate a husband of mine sacrificing the art of conversation.
All right.
What is so funny?
No, dear. It's just that you said a husband of mine. How many husbands have you got? You've only got me.
And I would appreciate that not being rubbed in. We're playing cards tonight. I would also appreciate it if you changed out of that ridiculous sweater. We're having dinner with the Phillips.
Oh, dear.
Anything to say, Henry?
No, dear. Nothing to say. What time do we do that?
In about 15 minutes.
I'll be ready on time.
See that you are. Oh, Henry!
Yes, my dear?
What have you got, Henry?
Got?
Got.
Nothing, my dear.
What is this?
What, that?
This.
Isn't that odd? How did that get in there?
I can only hazard a guess. A book of modern poetry. Yours, Henry? Would you like to read me some?
Read you some? Do you mean out loud? From the book? Do you want to? Oh, I would love to. You know, there are some very lovely things in here. There are one or two lovely things from T.S. Eliot, Edna St. Vincent Millay, Carl Sandburg, Robert Frost. Helen, the words are all crossed out. Who did this, Helen?
Who do you think? You should thank me, really. A grown man reading silly, nonsensical doggerel.
This isn't doggerel. There's some beautiful things in here.
I say it's doggerel. I also say
Helen!
it is
Don't do that!
a waste
Please, don't do that! Helen!
time.
Why, Helen? Why do you do these things?
Because I'm married to a fool.
Recording now! I can only tell you this, that, in adherence to duty, a constant remembrance that a bank, like a political office, is a public trust. These things are of the essence. Those things are above all other things, just the qualities I've mentioned. That's my speech for Thursday night banquet. Miss Jackson, would you type that up?
That's my speech for Thursday night banquet. Would you test my speech for Thursday night banquet? Would you test my...
Seconds, minutes, hours, they crawl by on hands and knees for Mr. Henry Bemis, who looks for a spark in the ashes of a dead world. A telephone connected to nothingness, a neighborhood bar, a movie, a baseball diamond, a hardware store, the mailbox of what was once his house and is now a pile of rubble. They lie at his feet as battered monuments to what was, but is no more.
Helen! Where are you?
Mr. Henry Bemis on an 8-hour tour of a graveyard.
They're all dead. It must be. Everybody's dead except me. I'm all right. Why am I all right? I was right down in the middle of the vault. I was down in a vault. That's why I'm alive. I was down in the... thing of it is, though, the thing of it is, I'm not so sure I want to be alive. Well, at least I won't starve to death. Lots of food. Enough food to last for years and years and years and years. Let's see. The worst part, very worst part, is being alone. Is this how it's going to be? Day after day after day? Eating? Smoking a cigarette? Eating the same half of the newspaper over and over and over again? Is someone there? Someone! Please! Someone! No. No, 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 no. It doesn't make any difference. No, it does not. It does not make a bit of difference. This is solitude. I've never had much solitude. I have enough to occupy my mind and my time. I have enough food and really very fortunate. Yes, I'm extremely fortunate. Help, 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 someone please, please, someone, please. Someone. Just one for the loneliness. Just one for the sameness. Only something to do. Do. Gun. I'm sure I'll be forgiven for this, given the way things are. I know I'll be forgiven. Collected works of George Bernard Shaw. Poems by Shelley, Browning, Keats. Books. Great dramas of the world. Books. All the books I want. All the books I need. January, February, March, April, May, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. All the books I want. And the best part, very best part, is there's time now. Time. There's time enough at last. God. No. My glasses. Where are my glasses? My glasses! Where are they? Oh no, I'm broken. I can't see. I can't see the beautiful words. 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 It's not fair. There was time now. It's not fair. There was time now. There was time now. There was time now.
The best laid plans of mice and men and Henry Bemis. The small man in the glasses who wanted nothing but time. Henry Bemis, now just a part of a smashed landscape. Just a piece of the rubble. Just a fragment of what man has deeded to himself. Henry Bemis in the Twilight Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce myself. My name is Rod Serling. I am the creator, producer, director, writer, and host of The Twilight Zone. And tonight, I invite you to join me on a journey to another time and another dimension. This is a journey that's not for the faint of heart, but this is a journey that's sponsored by Folgers.